Hey guys, Pern here. Call of Duty Mobile has just increased the amount of loadouts we have in multiplayer to 40. Oh my gosh. There have been a lot of questions about how it works, so let's just dive in. So at first glance, you're going to see that we have 4 different tabs, each containing 10 different loadouts. The first tab that we're going to have is the base tab. The second tab is going to contain Hardpoint, Domination, and Control. The third tab, we got Search and Destroy. And the fourth tab, we have Frontline and Team Deathmatch. So when loading into a game, depending on what game mode you select, for example, if you select to play Team Deathmatch, you will get these 10 loadouts. Same with Frontline. If you play Frontline or Team Deathmatch, you will get these 10 loadouts and only these 10 loadouts. You don't have to worry about any loadouts in any other tabs. And if you play Search and Destroy, it'll be the same thing. You'll get these 10 loadouts. If you play Domination, Hardpoint, or Control, you'll get these 10. And if you play anything other than that, you will get these 10 loadouts. And this is actually a really nice feature that Call of Duty Mobile just implemented because it allows you to customize your score streaks, your perks, your guns, a lot more in depth than just having 10 old plain loadouts. So, for example, if you're in Team Deathmatch, you're not really going to be getting really high score streaks in Team Deathmatch, so you might want to set your score streaks really low. You might want to have different perks than if you had in Search and Destroy. For example, here I have Dead Silence and Skulker switched out for the Search and Destroy loadout. And for Domination, you might want to have higher score streaks. For example, I got the Wraps and I got the Swarm, and I also have the Hardline perk loaded up here as well. It's kind of just super customizable to you and your play style. However you like to play, you just have to be aware of what game modes that you're playing. So for these far left 3 tabs, TDM, Frontline, Search and Destroy, Control, Domination, Hardpoint, if you go just to play a normal match in the core section or in ranked, those are the only tabs that you really have to worry about. You can see all the game modes here. Then if you go back into your base tab, where does this come in, guys? This is everything else. This is 10v10 modes and anything that would be under the featured game tab. I mean, not technically everything, I guess I should say, but Uplink would be in there. 10v10 modes like this 10v10 Rust. I think this nowhere to hide mode, let's just check into it. Sometimes you have to dive into the question mark there just to see what is kind of involved. It looks like we have Team Deathmatch, 10v10, and 10v10 kill confirmed. So that's going to be all in the base tab because that's 10v10 game mode. Some of these game modes, Capture the Flag is also going to be in there. There are some game modes in here that will include like Team Deathmatch, Domination, like all together. Like sometimes the 24/7 playlists that they do have those included all together under one playlist. So that's where you kind of have to be a little bit mindful, especially if you're gold grinding weapons and what weapons you're kind of working on. If you just play with like 1 or 2 weapons that are like your main weapons, then there's nothing that you really have to worry about. Just spend a little bit of time in here in your loadout section and you will be able to customize everything fully. And once you set it, it's kind of like you forget it. Get your guns all set up, get your perks all set up, get your score streaks all set for every game mode so that you are ready for the next battle. It's really that easy, guys. When you load into games, some people have some confusion, especially if you load into one of those playlists or if you're selecting multiple different game modes at the same time. Like if you select all, you just have to be ready for all of those different game modes. If you go ahead, remember in the old days where we just used to select one as our like base loadout, say like slot number 4, your default loadout is now changed to slot number 4, but that's only changed for Hardpoint, Domination, and Control. If, for example, we go into a playlist where there's Search and Destroy and Frontline or Team Deathmatch, it's going to default back to the number 1 slot. So when you go into either of those game modes, sometimes you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm not on loadout number 4. It's because you're playing a different game mode than your default that you set. If you know that you're playing one game mode and you're only playing that one game mode, you go ahead and you set your default loadout to number 4. And you are good to go as long as you're playing Team Deathmatch. Guys, a couple things that I want to mention about this new loadout system is that it's so customizable. You have so many different options now. If you know you play with like a few different weapons, You can customize each weapon in each category, so far as much as changing the attachments on each gun. For example, I'm gold grinding the Razorback right now. I could have set up 3 different Razorback classes, 1, 2, and 3. I could do that with all different attachments so that I am ready for any game map that comes up in the playlist as well. So if you have a loadout that is set up for close range, like something on shipment, and you get something like Crossfire, you can switch to your second loadout, which would have the same gun with slightly different attachments, but you're still playing Team Deathmatch. So guys, that's a new loadout system in Call of Duty Mobile. It is super customizable. Let me know what you guys think down below. I know it might take a little setup at first, but I guarantee you that it's going to help you and be way easier once it's all said and done. I know one thing that stands out from Call of Duty Mobile to a lot of other mobile first-person shooters is how customizable Call of Duty is. And this is yet again another example of how Call of Duty Mobile does that. Thanks for watching, guys. If you learned something new, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you on the next one.